Bonjour l'Afrique. It's another live hashtag coming to you from our Kwese Sports studio. So excited for tonight. A power-packed show is coming up. And of course, joining me is the lovely Zihlo Ndlovu. It's great having you back. You've done some traveling, girl.
Bonakawa.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good, good. I mean, I don't think I look as great as you. I mean, you've been traveling the world lately, so what's been pop for you in your world?
Oh, you know, just had a nice little trip where I traveled a bit in Europe, and now I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. Feeling good, man.
Fantastic.
Yes. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, and of course our Instagram, and of course our website, which is www.kwese.espn.com. Now, Arthur, who is our very, very, very special guest tonight?
All right, so tonight we feature a sports journalist who is turning his passion for sport into something more. With the help of his foundation, Molefe is hoping to make a huge impact on the lives of the youth.
Imagine being able to change a child's life and ensure a positive future for the youth of South Africa, to bring about meaningful, measurable and lasting change in underdeveloped and underprivileged communities. That's what the Molefe Foundation is doing through the sport of golf. This non-profit charitable organization aims to build sustainable golf complexes around townships in South Africa, where children will not only have the opportunity to learn the game, but also to get assistance with their schoolwork in purpose-built classrooms and something to eat in specially constructed food kitchens. The first project is in partnership with the Rulani Mabasa Children's Foundation based in Meadowlands, Soweto. Once a dumping site, this area has been transformed into a sustainable, cost-effective and highly functional golf complex. Thanks to the partners who have joined the cause, the impact is already being felt by the community. With your assistance, we'll be able to reach more children and reduce the socio-economic inequalities in South Africa, one community at a time.
Wow, that just touched my heart. Isn't that just lovely? Right, Africa, you know what to do. Hashtag Kwese Sports. But the man behind the vision joins us in studio tonight. What a great opportunity to have Molefe.
Thank you.
How's it going, brother man?
I'm good. How are you doing, Arthur?
Well, I'm great. I'm happy to have you in studio tonight and to talk about this foundation and the vision behind this foundation, just how many lives you've changed and touched.
Yeah. It's an awesome opportunity for me to be here, and thank you guys for hosting me and allowing me to join you tonight. Yeah, man, we're just trying to change kids' lives, you know. Sport, as I guess Madiba said, has the power to change, and we literally see it on a daily basis now.
Right, but where did this idea come from, really?
Excuse me. So, like my passions are like football and golf, and like the sport I grew up playing. I think growing up in a township, you have easy access to football. All of us, like, you know, we played on the streets and it was easy to get into football. Then I was just fortunate enough to have an uncle who used to be a caddy and so learned how to play golf and kind of transferred those skills to me and my cousins when we were growing up. I never really thought I would go pro or whatever, but I think having become a journalist and seen just how tough, especially like guys from the township have it to try and make it on tour, you know, the lack of support makes it very, very difficult for them to go on and compete on tour. I thought maybe it's time that we stop complaining, like, what's the government doing, what's organizations doing, but what are we doing? I mean, I'm sitting there looking at kids, and I could possibly, because of relationships I've built over the years, then have a way of changing these kids' lives. And therefore, I thought golf is a great vehicle to teach them. They already play football, but a lot of them never have access and never know that they can swing a club. And all they need is an opportunity. And therefore, we want to provide that opportunity for them to learn the game. And through the game, change their lives ultimately.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Molefe for president, right?
The original right here. Actually, what does OG stand for?
So OG stands for absolutely whatever you want it to stand for.
Are you a hip-hop fan?
Absolutely, you know.
Okay, that's probably where the name OG comes from, right?
Not even. So I used to have this colleague who couldn't say my name, like Unkgopotse. And one day
Wait, say it again.
Unkgopotse.
Unkgopotse.
Yeah, Unkgopotse.
Right.
Like God remembered me, you know, basically.
And in what language is that?
Kistswana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so she, like, this lady couldn't pronounce the name and we're going on air. And I don't know where she got it from, but she then like
Coined
said
it for you.
OG, yeah. And it like stuck. Like I think, you know, listeners on the radio heard, and it just literally stuck with me for like the past 15 years, whatever it's been.
That's
Very
great.
nice.
That's such a cool nickname, hey? See?
OG? Yeah.
OG. AB. Should I switch to AB?
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
No.
yeah, hey.
Yeah.
I thought
No, it's
AB,
okay. Just stick
well,
to Bonaco. It's okay.
we'll let it
All
slide.
right. All right. I mean, OG, you're constantly with these kids on a daily basis. I'm sure you've picked up, well, sort of predicted the next NBA star, the next golf star, the next athlete. Who are those children? How old are they? You know, are we going to see them breaking? Of course, the television sports debuts very soon.
Well, probably not very soon, maybe in the next 10 years or so.
Okay.
But and the reason for that is that, like, I see guys who are on tour now playing and they get a little bit of support, but I think it's a little bit too late for them because for years, I mean, if you're a golfer and you know, you're struggling with just getting money for accommodation, travel, and you're playing against guys who rock up to a tournament on a Monday, have a couple of practice rounds. So by the time Thursday starts, they don't really have too many problems to think about. But for you, if you're thinking, shucks, I need to make the cut for me to make money to be able to go to the next tournament, already you're not on an equal footing.
Yeah.
So we want to get these kids, build them up to a point where when they compete, once they get on tour, those who do make it on tour, they don't have to worry about those things. But it's a holistic approach that we need to change. We just can't give them the sport and say, here you go, this is how you play. And then 5 years later, when maybe they finish school, they don't have the support to continue and break into a really tough sport. I mean, the chances of them succeeding and becoming a professional golfer are very, very small as it is. And so what we've also done is realize that we can't just teach them golf. So we're going to help them with their education as well. So what we've really done is what you saw on the inset there, like we found this piece of land in Soweto, which literally used to be a dumping site. So we've cleaned it up, we've made it into a driving range, but we also realized if you're going to teach these kids, there's so many, you know, advanced techniques and technologies that are being used by up-and-coming golfers that if we want them to get to the same footing, then we need to get that facility up to the same standards. And so we've been fortunate to get like a partner like HP who are actually going to help us rebuild that entire facility. So put in proper greens, proper bunkers, a proper driving range. But not only that, we're also building them like a high-tech homework center so that when they come back from school, they can have, you know, a place for them to actually go and not just roam the streets and, who knows, become an ex-criminal or whatever.
So is there a specific age that you're targeting, or is this just open to any kid who wants to play?
So, you know, the problem with this is that you can't really help everyone.
Yeah.
Right? At the moment, we've got 30 kids ranging between 9-year-olds to 13-year-olds. And we're teaching them the game. Some of them are really talented. You can really see that, you know, with harnessed focus and teaching and coaching, they can really go far.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of golf proteges that don't make it. So that's why we want to equip them with education so that if they don't make it as a golfer, they can still have something to fall back on, you know.
Great minds.
But we've got, like, I'm excited, you know, we've got this kid, like 15-year-old Becky. What we're doing with him is that I've partnered with, you know, a golf coach, Grant Veenstra, who's out at Edwards where we had the golf day. And I mean, Grant, like, you know, he's got players that are playing on the European tour. He's got players playing on the ladies' European tour as well. And if someone that can really spot talent is him as well, because he's been a professional golfer. And he's excited about this kid. And between me at the foundation and him, like, we really want to build the first black superstar to come out of South Africa, golf-wise, because we've never had that, right?
That's
and there's been
exciting.
so many kids that have been taught the game, but like I say, they get to a certain point where they don't have the support, and we want to, like, take this kid and really take him to the high echelons of the sport.
Wow, that's so inspirational,
Yeah.
just listening to that. You had a golf day and you had a fundraising event. How did that go?
Oh man, that was spectacular. Like, for the past 6 months, we've been planning this golf day to raise funds to be able to go back to this facility and really put in the work that needs to be done there. Like, it hasn't rained in Gauteng for the past, 5-6 months.
Yeah.
And on the day we have our golf day, then the rains, decide to come.
But you know that
I think
in African culture, it's a blessing.
I'm about to say that, right? I was about to say that, like, we were graced with these blessings from God on the day that it rained. We had a couple of rain delays, but the players were in such high spirits. None of them really complained. None of them left. They all stayed right to the end and managed to finish all 18 holes. We managed to raise 120,000 Rand on the day, which is fantastic and absolutely great. To the guys that came to play.
Well done to that. That's really awesome.
And yeah, like, so for us, it inspires us to like keep going, because clearly we like on the right path, and it really helps me to get up in the morning to say, yo, this is what I'm going to try and do, and to get support from people is absolutely great.
Now, just really last question about your foundation and everything. Do you see yourself perhaps venturing into a different sport in the future?
Like I say, I mean, there's so many academies that are like across the African continent, right? People teach basketball, people teach hockey, football. But I think for me, I do not want to be distracted. It's easy for me to have like a single focused mind and focus on golf, which, like I said, not a lot of kids have access to that sport. But because I've got sponsors like TaylorMade and Adidas Golf who are absolutely behind us all the way, it's easy for me to then stick to this and focus on this and not lose sight of trying to go get another sponsor for the football side, another sponsor for... So it's easy for me to focus on golf and teach these kids how to play the game. And I think even for them, it opens those opportunities, like I say, where they can, if they don't become a professional golfer, they can become a greenkeeper. And, greenkeepers make like tons of money. People don't know that, but you don't know that if you don't have access to that. I know a couple of millionaires who their job is just to be a greenkeeper. Some of them, you have opportunities to go work overseas. I've got friends who are working in America, for instance, but it's through golf, and therefore that's the channel we've picked. And because I've got the passion for the sport, I've got all day for them, man.
Wow.
Ooh, all day.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay, I'm loving having OG in studio, right? Okay, staying with golf, Thomas Bjorn has hailed Tiger Woods' return to the Ryder Cup as phenomenal for the competition as the Dane prepares to captain the European team in its battle against the USA. Now, after a stunning return to form this season, Woods was announced as a wildcard pick by US captain Jim Furyk ahead of the action at Le Golf National on September 28. Woods' recent results make ominous reading for Bjorn and his European players as the 42-year-old US star prepares to make his first Ryder Cup appearance as a player since 2012. Guys, the Tiger factor is not only huge for Team USA, but for the Ryder Cup itself, surely.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
Without a doubt. I mean, there's, the Tour Championship happening this weekend, but I'm already so excited about the Ryder Cup because I actually want to see Tiger going back to the Ryder Cup. And yes, there's interest in the Ryder Cup itself, but man, you put Tiger there already, your ticket sales, it's been shown, will definitely either double or triple. I know a lot of people who just in the past 2 weeks have made that call to say, yes, I am going to go to France to check it out, just because Tiger Woods is going there. But not only that, I mean, there's a bit of a psychological factor that comes into it as well. Who are you going to pair him with, and which team is he going to go up against? Because a lot of the young kids that are coming up, although they're so fearless and really ready to tackle Tiger, and he also like brings up their game if you think about it. A guy like Bryson DeChambeau, he's played with Tiger a couple of times already this season, and he can take him on. So there's a lot of talk about Jim Furyk possibly pairing the two of them, and I think they will actually make a killer pairing.
Killer pairing, Z. But I'm thinking about the fact that the Ryder Cup is going for the first time in France. So much pressure on Tiger Woods' shoulders, especially because the season he had, the season he's been having, coming back from the back fusion surgery. Put yourself in Tiger Woods' shoe. What do you think is going through his mind?
I think that, he's got a whole lot of pressure on his shoulders, on his back, because this is the last that's the last game he really played before he had the surgery. So, obviously that was a negative moment for him. And, it just hasn't been good in the press for him. Everything that we've just read about him has been negative, from the scandals, from the alcohol-induced driving last year. So he needs this. I mean, he needs to prove that we're not only talking about him in the past as this amazing golfer, but he still has it. So I'm hoping that, he's looking forward to it and he's staying all positive about it.
Wow, he hasn't won a major in quite a while. OG, do you see him possibly bagging one very soon?
Oh man, I think next year definitely Tiger's winning one of the majors. I've got my odds down for the Masters as, you know, going to be that number 15.
Wow.
But you talk about the pressures. I think if there's one golfer who knows about the pressure of playing this game, it's him. I mean, Rory McIlroy has said that he possibly could lose a stroke, averages of a stroke a game if he had the number of people following Tiger.
Wow.
For you to have to deal with that, that's the one person that really knows about dealing with the pressure. That's one person that knows how to play the Ryder Cup well as well. So I wouldn't really worry that much about the pressure going into it. I think you look at just how he's played the season coming back from back surgery. He keeps going on about how for him it's a blessing that he's even competing in the majors and having a chance to win. And he's come, close twice, especially this season. And I think once everything comes together, once he settles on that putter, it looks like the Scotty is working very well for him. But once he settles on his game and he can fully trust the game, and he needs to sort out the driving as well, man. If he can sort out the driver and that putting, I think Tiger's definitely in. Excuse me, for a major next year.
All right.
The excitement when he speaks about golf.
Right.
It is so infectious. He's just smiling. He's going there. You really need to talk to Tiger at this point, eh?
Like, listen, I might lose my mind.
Right. Oh, lovely. All right. Coming up, African Champions League and Ms. Mumbai talks basketball ahead of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. But first, Felicia Endersby is back at the polo. This time, the Nedbank International Polo. South Africa versus Australia from Inando Polo Club.
It was a beautiful day at the Nedbank International Polo. It wasn't just about the polo though. There were celebrities, glitz, glamour and socializing. What do you know about polo?
That there are horses, that polo is a sport, and there are men on those horses. But other than that, a polo event for me is just like dress up, show up, look the part. Can you bet at the polo? If you can and you have lots of money, do that too.
So this lounge is actually my marquee. So I actually do hospitality. So myself and my partner do this every year. So we host people, let people come through, watch the polo in style, essentially. It's the first of its kind. So Nedbank Cup has never happened before. So I think the fact that it's a new cup, it's refreshing. It's back in Santon, so that's nice as well, because it adds to that luxury aspect.
Anything specific you're looking for? Anything you enjoy about this event?
The networking, the people. You know, Nedbank has been a great partner, and they invite us every year. We come and we meet new people and make friends and acquaintances. Yeah.
Even if you haven't been before and you've never watched or you don't know anything about polo, it's definitely worth the experience, and there's a lot of action to that you can catch on. Trust.
I really want to thank just South Africa in general. Every time I've been here about 5 times, and the people and the generosity with horses and just the whole attitude of everyone is so cool. South Africa holds a really special place in my heart because 19 years ago I got to play with my father here and win on this particular ground, and my father scored the winning goal. Today I did, so it really is quite special. And I got engaged to my wife here 19 years ago, so it's pretty cool. I love it. You know, the highest rated player on the ground was Tom De Bruyn today, and he played amazing, but we put a lot of pressure on him and we didn't give him any space, and that's what was amazing. My 3 young boys, they really pushed him hard, gave him no space at all, and yeah, we want to thank the horselanders because the horses were very good. But come on, Aussie.
So the horse walks into a bar. Barman says, "Why the long face?"
That was absolutely shocking, diabolical. Like, what was our producer thinking? Hey Z, what was he really thinking? He needs to leave the talent to us.
Look, if I say what I'm thinking, I'll get fired, so I'm just going to keep quiet.
Well,
and just
I'm just hearing him say that he couldn't find me when we were supposed to be the ones who were supposed to file that story. Really? Is that good enough?
No. but it's fine. We'll allow him. We'll give him this moment.
All right.
Right now, this week, Ms. Mumbai caught up with some West African basketball players as they prepared for the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. As most of them are based overseas, they shared their experience playing on the continent and then revealed a little about their greatest superstitions on the court. Arthur, stop laughing.
Hey, hashtaggers. So as you can see, today is a little bit different. I decided to catch up with the boys. These are the qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup that's going to take place in 2019. Okay, so I'm with Guy, who is the captain of Team Côte d'Ivoire. How are you doing, Guy?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm very good. I can see you doing great. But you know what? For the first time, I'm almost the same height as a basketball player. I brought out my highest heels.
There you go. I see that.
All right. So you guys are in Nigeria, of course, for the qualifiers for the World Cup. How are you feeling? What's the mood like in camp?
I mean, we're feeling great. I mean, we know that it's never easy for African organizations to get things right, but they try their best, and we're here to qualify for the World Cup. So we try to put every distraction on the side, and focus on the games and try to get the qualifiers.
We had a good preparation, and now we saw the team of Nigeria. We know that all of them are here, so we are ready and motivated to beat them tomorrow.
Now, you were telling me before the interview that you actually play in France. You're based in France. What are some of the differences between, you know, playing in France and coming back home to play on African soil?
Playing in France is like you're doing your job, you know. That's your job. You're a professional player, so you're doing your job. But coming back home, play for your national team, it means a lot because you represent your family, you represent all the people around you, and you represent yourself. So that's a lot of weight on you, and it's always something sometimes good that we always want to enjoy around people that we don't see every time, but when we have time like this, we enjoy it.
Very quickly, there's a story that broke the internet about Nigerian footballer Balogun, who came back to play in Nigeria, and he decided to play for the Super Eagles for the World Cup. But he says that he made this decision after he saw a seer, or you know, whatever you want to call it, somebody who sees into the future and all this kind of thing, right? And that's guided him, and he says everything has been aligned since he made that decision. So I want to know, do you have any superstitions that are guiding your career that you feel like, well, you know what, if not for this thing that I do, I would not be at my best?
Not really. I mean, I have little stuff where I always put my left socks before my right socks, or put the left shoes before the right shoes. It's very small, but I have been doing this for you know, my whole life pretty much. So this my little thing, but it's not as big that his vision. I mean.
Nah, I didn't have anything like that yet.
So you don't have a thing where you feel like maybe if you wear your right sock before your left sock, it's luckier for you in a game?
I don't really have something like that, but every time I have a good game, I try to remember what I did that day so I can do it again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I woke up that morning, I did some push-ups, I did some abs, and I went on the court and I had a great game. I'm gonna be like, oh, so doing the push-ups in the morning helped me to have a good game, so I will remember that and try to do it again.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. I know you've got to rest and get ready for the tournament, but this has been real. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think I have just fallen in love with the wonderful game of basketball all over again, haven't you? Now, don't say I never do anything for you ladies at home. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for Miss Mumbai, but on to sadder news. 5 people were killed on Saturday at a football match in the Angolan capital, Luanda, following a stampede. The stampede at the African Champions League contest between Angolan outfit Primeiro de Agosto and the Democratic Republic of Congo's TP Mazembe also left 7 people injured. Witnesses say the stampede happened after fans found the gates of the Stadio 11 de Novembro shut after the match. It's added that when the gates were opened, supporters rushed out to the stadium and some were trampled by police horses. This is awful. This is the second time this has happened in Angola. What measures do you think need to be put into place, OG, that this does not become a reoccurring incident?
I mean, like we've always said, like it's said that in Africa, like we had the first African World Cup, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
But we didn't take the learnings from that and implement them in our very own games. I mean, back then you couldn't get close to a stadium, 4 kilometers before you get to a stadium if you didn't have a ticket.
Yeah.
And I think those security measures should be thought about and maybe re-implemented in all our local games, like Champions League, everything else. We saw it in Cape Town in South Africa over the weekend, where fans at a Kaizer Chiefs game and Cape Town City state game, fans were just, they even overpowered security to get into the game. The problem is that, yes, you've provided security, but if something goes wrong, it's going to be now the team once again getting flagged for it. So I think from a security point, all associations should think about beefing that up. And also the security themselves. I mean, sometimes it's just people that are picked up on the day and people who don't really know how to either deal with, crowd control. And we need to think about, improving on those fronts.
That's so true, OG. And I think from my perspective, it's the federations working also with the clubs. That relationship is important. So it's not that the strict rules have not been implemented or that these problems are not, landing on the laps of CAF, but I think it's a systematic thing that needs to be done. Both the fans and the security guards and also the federation need that unison just so that the events can be pleasant again.
Now, well, I mean, this is quite a very deep discussion and we don't have enough time to delve into it. But OG, it's been really great having you on the show today. You've given us so much insight on your foundation. I was about to say federation, on your foundation. But tell me, any future plans that you have?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like literally the next 5 years is just getting this thing off the ground and making sure it becomes successful. I don't want to be like another statistic where, we started this thing and, 3 years later it's not there and people ask, what happened? We put in money or stuff like
where
that.
did it go? He's
where
not
did it go? Shout the man, yeah. So yeah, literally this is where my focus is and my drive is. Like it's taken me a long time to find something that I'm really passionate about and to work towards. And now that I've found it, that's literally all I'll be doing for the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully even more.
And I'm sure there's so many people that want to know where they can find you on social media so that they can be part of this foundation. Where can they find you?
You can find me at OG_Molefe. Otherwise, you can check out OGM_Foundation. You can see all the great work that we're doing at the foundation, what we're doing for the kids, where all our sponsors are. And if you also want to contribute, you can just hit us up there and we can find a way for you to positively impact on the youth of the African continent.
Yes,
Yay.
The youth of the African continent. On that note, we've got to say goodbye. Oh my goodness, why? We need more time, always having fun on #Z.
Oh, Arthur.
I know.
But I'm back now, I'm back.
I know. Take me with you.
Okay, I'll connect you guys.
OG, take us with you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, Africa, you know where to get in touch with us. Same place next week. We've got a date, 7:30 every Wednesday night. #continues. That fire, that Kwesified fire continues to burn. So, from the rest of the team here at the Kwesi Sports Studios, it's a Dabbing Kwesified Nights. Ciao.
It's